welcome to the Divine Nexus Comics YouTube channel. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and enjoy the video.
This is the adventures of Grogu Part 4. I hope you enjoy. Let's get started. The Razor Crest docked at a high-altitude platform on the planet Daiyu, a world where the sun never seemed to penetrate the thick layer of neon smog and towering skyscrapers. Below the platform, the city was a sprawling labyrinth of glowing signs, bustling crowds, and the constant hum of high-speed traffic. Inside the cockpit, Grogu was mesmerized by the flashing lights, his wide eyes reflecting the vibrant pinks and electric blues of the urban jungle that stretched out as far as he could see. Din Djarin checked the seal on his armor and holstered his blaster, preparing to meet a contact in a nearby cantina who claimed to have information on a rogue Imperial remnant. "Stay in the prom, Grogu," he said firmly, activating the child's hover chair and setting it to stay mode. He knew the streets of Daiyu were dangerous, filled with spice runners and pickpockets, and he couldn't afford a distraction while he navigated the treacherous underworld. As soon as the Mandalorian disappeared into the dense crowd of the docking bay, Grogu's curiosity took hold, sparked by a small spherical courier droid that zipped past the ship's open ramp. The droid chirped and beeped, trailing a faint scent of ozone and something that smelled remarkably like grilled meat from a nearby street stall. With a determined wiggle, Grogu managed to bypass the prom's safety lock and tumbled onto the metal floor, ready to follow the enticing trail. The streets of Daiyu were a sensory overload for the small foundling, filled with the clatter of mechanical limbs and the shouting of vendors in a dozen different languages. Grogu waddled through the legs of towering aliens, his small size allowing him to move unnoticed through the shadows cast by the neon-lit storefronts. He was momentarily fascinated by a vendor selling nebula puffs, translucent treats that changed color as they were tossed in a magnetic fryer. However, his culinary quest was interrupted when he turned a corner into a narrow alleyway and found himself face to face with a trio of rusted pit droids. These droids were scavengers, programmed to find discarded tech, but they had clearly developed a taste for shiny objects belonging to unsuspecting tourists. They chattered excitedly in binary as they spotted the silver gear shift ball Grogu held tightly in his hand, their mechanical eyes clicking as they assessed the prize. The lead pit droid lunged forward, its spindly arms reaching for the silver knob, but Grogu was faster than his small stature suggested. He let out a sharp patu and tucked the ball deeper into the folds of his robe, backing away into a pile of discarded spice canisters. The droids hissed and clicked, closing the gap as they realized the snack they had found was seemingly defenseless, unaware of the power the small creature possessed. Closing his eyes, Grogu reached out with a tiny hand, focusing not on the droids themselves, but on a heavy magnetic cargo lifter hovering just above the alleyway. With a sudden surge of the Force, he deactivated the lifter's safety magnet, causing a shower of heavy metal scraps to rain down directly in front of the droids. The startled machines tumbled backward, their logic circuits overwhelmed by the sudden obstacle, giving Grogu the chance to slip away into the shadows. It didn't take long for the Mandalorian to find his ward, thanks to the tracking fob he had quietly attached to Grogu's robe earlier that morning as a precaution. Din Djarin emerged from the shadows of a spice den, his visor reflecting the neon lights as he spotted Grogu sitting peacefully by a street vendor. "I thought I told you to stay in the prom," Mando sighed, though his tone betrayed a hint of relief as he scooped the child up. As they walked back to the docking bay, Grogu happily munched on a glowing nebula puff he had managed to acquire, leaving a trail of shimmering sugar on the Mandalorian's shoulder plate. He had successfully navigated the dangerous streets of Daiyu, outsmarted a gang of droids, and secured the finest snack in the sector. Back on the ship, Grogu curled up in his prom, the silver ball safely back in his hand as they prepared for their next jump. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more stories like this, make sure to like and subscribe. Until next time, stay super.